what it is. Yours.
I am
But
just making sure that our stuff is all
yep,
popping up.
I just got it. I just got the notification that we are live on YouTube.
Yeah,
And,
YouTube's.
and
We're on
Twitch is,
Twitch.
yeah. Now, this is always the bane of my
The
existence.
Facebook, yeah,
Which
Facebook.
one?
Facebook.
Facebook
Facebook is
streaming.
always, it's
Biggest pain
not.
in the butt.
Yeah.
It's a
They like
massive pain in the
changed
butt.
their like something.
API.
Yes, and now it
Mhm.
like won't work. It's been the most annoying thing.
Facebook is so bloated;
100%.
it can't keep up with itself. It's always
No.
changing and being
It is.
incompatible.
It
Inconsistencies.
100%.
Hate it.
And I'm just like, I did everything you asked of me. Now just please stream. But nope. Uh, it's gonna have to be. Maybe we won't have Facebook tonight
We
unless I can
got we
figure
got
this out.
the others.
Yeah, we have the others. I'm gonna try one last hail mary. Try fixing the. I, I was
Hail Mark
checking.
Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I was
Right? Come on,
right.
Mark.
Hey
One
Zucks.
thing. Got
Hey
one
Zucks.
thing.
We just need this to work, please. All right, maybe. All
And
right.
like right now, I'm live right now.
Like right now, right now.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna just roll with it and not have Facebook. I'll post it later. Eh,
It's
It's not
okay.
cooperating. We did the best we
Share it
could.
to cross post later.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, we are live on YouTube and we are live on Twitch. So welcome everybody to Con Culture Podcast. We have the amazingly lit and well exposed and high res Daniel Grove photography with us
Hey.
as our
Seriously.
guest.
Making us
Don't
look like
mind
we're
don't
grim.
My
mind
job.
us. Don't mind us with our harsh lighting.
Peasants.
Just monitor light. Exactly. That's what it feels like. It feels like we're shooting on Casio phones from back in the day.
Like
And you
looking
have
up
your
Game Boy
cameras.
camera. You got Game Boy
Exactly.
camera.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is the front facing camera. You know how you have the
No,
rear facing with all the
yes.
megapixels and you got that front facing one that you look like a gremlin on? Yeah, we're front facing camera stream right now. That's what we it's harsh. It's harsh out here, but we're doing it. We're making it happen. You, however, look pristine, and that
As
is
we would
because
expect. Yes.
you are on what camera? You told us before, but what camera
A
are you
Canon.
using to get this?
Yeah. It's not a webcam, first of all. That's why. That's my first secret. It's my Canon R6 mirrorless. Love it.
Yeah, it's
With a
great.
nice lens.
And it's familiar because I have been seeing the content that you've been putting out with this setup.
Mm-hmm.
So, how much? First, actually, let me start with how you got into this. How did you get into
Yeah.
photography? How did you get into videography?
Yeah.
Where did you find this passion, and how did that all begin?
Oh, I love this question because it brings back all the great memories.
Awesome.
So I started in high school. I'm 34. This whole thing for more than half my life, which is a pretty fun. I found my passion very early, thankfully. So I was around 15, I started using my family camera to get just abstract pictures. I didn't even know about portraiture. I didn't know I loved doing
Mhm.
landscape, a lot of macros, textures. Yeah, because I grew up as a really artistic kid. My whole family, I'm very thankful, are all artistic. My two older brothers and I always drew like every day. I had a full sketch. I still have all my sketchbooks back to middle school, which is really neat.
Oh, cool.
So
That is
love
awesome.
drawing, love imagination, love creating stuff, and yeah. And then I had Photoshop through scrupulous means we won't need to talk about. But I had Photoshop in middle school, and I was like, image editing is like layers and masking is like this is so trippy and cool. I've never seen art like this. I was just making whatever tickled my fancy. Wasn't really going off of anything.
Yeah.
Layering images that I had found, and then I started using images that I took. And I was like, this is even cooler because I made this 100%. And still, well, I stole the software, but I didn't steal the images that I used. Edit that part out later for Adobe. And I'm all legit now. But yeah, so it kind of started with Photoshop actually, and getting better at taking pictures, learning manual mode before even like knowing that was really a thing in the photography world.
Yeah.
I got a decent like a nice point and shoot that had manual. It's really cool in like mid high school, and portraits, my friends, and that was really special because I am like the most person that I know. Sorry if I have like company over, so it's kind of noisy. But
No, it's fine.
cousins and lots of kids.
We're
So
both parents, so
yeah.
we know that sound is just going to bleed in. You'll hear it not only from yours, but you'll probably hear it some
crying
from
and
ours.
screaming. Yeah. There's an illegal amount of children in my
They're
house
alive
right now.
though. That's how you know they're all breathing. Everybody's
That's good.
fine because of screams. When you don't hear screams as a parent, that's when you get nervous. You go
Hold up.
check
Oh,
and
no.
make sure something's
They're in the
going
toilet.
on. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
I
carry
discovered people pictures. I think my junior or senior year, and I just fell in love with it because I love people and I love hearing their story, especially when they're different from me. That's even more exciting because I'm like, how did you get this way? Like, what do you like? What do you tell me your story? You know, all that stuff. I try not to be nosy, but I just like hearing people's stories and sides
The
of things.
personality comes across
Yeah,
in the
it's cool.
shots. Like you got to get to know something about them to capture their essence. I think it is a big. You're fine.
There's
Don't
two
worry.
babies right here.
At your feet.
Hey there, babies. What's up? Um,
Yeah, no, you really do though. If you get to know a person, they get
Yeah.
comfortable. As I'm sure you know, their body language changes. Because
Yeah.
I've seen great photographers work, and that's one of the big key marks of a good photographer is they make the person feel comfortable,
Yes.
and their body language changes. They just
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of forget the camera's there.
Yes.
you
when
get
the,
to
when
do
the
your
subject, yeah, when the subject is having fun and feels
Mm-hmm.
good about the pictures that they're having made, they will pose better. They'll look better. They'll act more photogenic. And people that say they aren't photogenic is probably just because they have never been comfortable in front of the camera. Because the person or the
Yes.
situation leading up to the photo shoot, you just never know.
Yeah.
So I try to get to know people and show their personality in different creative ways. A lot of that comes out into the actual planning before the shoot ever happens. I'm thinking of locations that match their style. We're picking out outfits, coming up with cool ideas for lighting or special effects, if that's applicable, and just going to capture their personality and show who they are in unique ways that hopefully hasn't been done before.
That's awesome.
I love
But
that.
yeah, discovering that mixture of my extrovertness and me being an artist was like perfect crossroads doing portraits, and never looked back since. It just has been growing every year, my business and my skill, and now I'm helping other people to learn. I love teaching and spreading what I've learned the hard way. It took me about 8 years. I calculated at one point in the middle of a few years ago, I looked back and I was like, it took me like 8 years to get good, like to get to where my mind pictures were the actual pictures in my camera. Like
That's awesome.
Well,
that
you
is-
can
that is an
definitely tell that
intense-
you've taken that time to cultivate
yeah.
your skills
Wish it
because
didn't
like
take
Yeah, no.
If,
we
if I
all
had
do,
one
though.
of me, it would have taken me 1 year if I had one of me to teach me. I didn't
right
have me.
well
And it's
that's
always
what's so
that. That's the case.
valuable like
Yeah.
and the fact that you're sitting here and you're not like, well, I worked hard to get to this place, so you should too. It's like
Yeah.
you can still work hard and not have to spend 8 years of time doing this. Like if you can do it in a shorter period of time, then it can get you to a point how you feel now in a faster period of time, like because that's what everybody wants, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
to like be happy about your work and then
Why
to
not
also
take
spread
advantage
that
of those
happiness.
masters who've already gone down that
Yeah.
road, and you can learn a
Exactly.
thing or two and
That's-
save you
I
tons
learned-
of mistakes.
Yeah. As many people have helped me with my business side and my artistic and technical side, and so I just like to return the favor.
I want to ask about that. When did you decide, hey, this is something I love. I'm obviously good at it. I want to make this a business. And how scary was that transition? Were you in something stable and then you transferred into photography, or was it always wanted to be a professional photographer?
It's been a gradual gradient, to use Photoshop terms. It's been a climb into this. I started charging like probably in high school. It's like $20 a
Yeah.
photo shoot. I mean, my very first paid photo shoot. I charged my friend $20 for her senior pictures. And then I took her out to lunch afterwards. We were just friends, and I paid for it. I paid for her food, so I made $6 profit.
There we go. Look at you go.
And I've since photographed her
Good
about 8
margin. That's
Oh,
25%
wow.
almost. That's
Yeah.
good margin.
math, yes. So it's been. I always was charging something. I rarely worked for free. I did a little bit more early on for learning's sake and for portfolio, but my portfolio is like 10 years strong right now. I'm good. I don't
Yeah.
need
Solid.
portfolio.
You're definitely
I-
established at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, for
People
sure.
come to me,
I've known your name like basically since I started cosplaying in San Antonio.
Oh, cool.
Like 7 years ago. I remember seeing, and I forgive me, I can't remember what photo shoot it was, but it was a cosplayer that I followed, and I saw your work, and I was like, who is that? What
Who did that?
photographer did this? And it was so good, and I was like,
Thank
oh my
you.
gosh. So I was like, immediately follow, like,
Stock.
Yep. Stock.
and, yes. on everything
Yeah.
on social media. So
My
yes.
my vision for cosplay photos, and this also branches into just other creative themes, not just cosplay. But in my creative work, my mindset going into is okay. Let's pretend that Weta Digital or I don't know, DC hired me to do the or the promo photos for a legit huge budget movie.
Yeah.
Do I'm like stand off the page or off the screen in this case, and look like movie quality with effects, with the lighting, with the caricature portrayal in the posing and everything. How can I make it high budget looking? And that's what I'm going for. I don't ever want to photograph a person wearing a costume. I want to photograph that person as that character in that world,
Oh,
doing the things that that character would do.
that's
And
a
I just
big
want to.
I have
difference.
It's like
chills.
3 layers of
If I
reality
was
there.
if I had a DSLR camera, you
You would
could
be able to see
see,
the chills.
yeah, because I literally have chills because like 100% that is your vision,
Yeah.
and you succeed in doing that.
You
Thank
execute it
you.
very well.
Yes.
It doesn't look like you ever, like you said, snapped a photo at a con. That's what
Yeah,
we do.
no. I
We
don't
snap
take
a
Yeah.
photo at
pictures.
a con.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a free
You
photo
you definitely
photographer.
capture. Yeah, you definitely capture the essence, and it's very akin to Robert Rodriguez, as I'm sure you know of, San Antonio
That's great.
director. The way you're speaking about it is like you don't have to use $1,000 lighting setup. You're in the field, so that's kind of impractical to carry that. So
Yeah.
how do you get that cinematic look
Oh, that's
on
a
the
good
go?
question.
Because a lot of these shots are mobile, dude. You're at cons,
Oh yeah, I'm
you're
walking around
on
every
the river
20
walk.
minutes. Yeah.
Exactly. So you're going from shoot to shoot. How do you get that cinematic look without carrying tons of equipment?
Yeah, so my normal portable con setup is 2 lights. I have a third speed light with me. Speed light's just a portable flash that I could have on my camera, but I use wirelessly. So I have a third one with me if I want to do like a really extra setup with like more color gels or something like that,
Yeah.
to add some color light behind them or on them. So, but my normal like typical setup, which I used at San Japan, was like 2 3 weeks ago, September 1st and 2nd. I have one. My main light is a Godox AD200, so it's a 200-watt strobe. It's like a mini
Yes.
strobe, really powerful compared to a speed light. And then I have a Godox speed light for like my back or side light. Sometimes I put plastic color gel on that to add a splash of color to give like atmosphere and just color, like practical color grading. Just throw red on the wall behind them, and boom, you have like a red vibe. Creepy or
Yeah,
horror or
yeah,
blood or whatever.
Yes.
Or blue if they've got lightning or energy or a lightsaber color. I can do that too.
yeah.
So color gels are awesome, and literally like $1 for color gels. The cheap ones I use are like pieces of crap. I melted them before. I was taking too many pictures. It started to melt.
And you're like,
Oh.
So yeah,
Okay, so
calm
it's
down a little
not
bit.
$1,000 lighting
No,
setup. It's
no.
just a good
Yeah,
light
and
source and then gels and other
yes,
things.
and the reason I use that AD200 is it is pretty strong, but it's still lightweight. It only weighs like I don't know, like 3 pounds or something.
oh
There's bigger
yeah.
versions that are way more powerful, but I don't need that much power. And it's just those are like 8 to 10 pounds. I don't want that. Like I can carry all my stuff with 2 hands. My cameras are on me. I got a light stand and a light stand, but I have assistants that come and help for fun, so
Yeah.
takes the burden off me.
Yeah, you could also learn a lot just by seeing how you play with light.
Oh,
What
yeah,
resources
that's
did you use to learn about lighting and all of that?
trial and error.
Wow.
I mean, that's a pretty good one.
It's 8 years worth of trial and error, so you're
Yeah,
bound to
that's-
get good.
When I started learning, like really learning, and YouTube was barely like populated with quality content like today. There are so many good channels.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous how much you can learn for free. You do not go to school for photography. Don't do it. Go to business school so you can actually run the business behind it. But you can learn photography for free on YouTube from people like me who you can still learn for free or pay like bottom, pay very little for various courses online and even in-person lessons, which I do as well. So how do I learn? A lot of trial and error. I did watch YouTube videos here and there to kind of fill in the gaps. Like I would figure stuff out on my own, and I'm like, I don't know, there could be a better way of doing it. Let's check that out. And I would correct myself or say, oh, okay, I figured it out. I'm doing it right. Good. Move on to the next thing.
That's super cool.
To check your answer like a
so I know
calculator.
before we were,
Yeah.
so you mentioned San Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and I know earlier we were talking about shooting at San Japan because you asked me, like, you know, why do I want to like learn photography? And I told you because I like the feeling of when people ask me for a photo
Yeah.
with like in cosplay or not in cosplay. So I want to share that feeling with other people and make them feel as awesome as it makes me feel. Like I want to be on behind the camera. And you said you
Fun.
had an amazing experience
Yes,
with
tell us about it.
people at San Japan. So I want to hear more.
Yeah, so this year at San Japan, and just for those that don't know, San Japan's an anime convention at Henry Gonzalez Center downtown, early September
Huge.
every Saturday every summer in San Antonio. To me, yes. And what I do there is I have pre-booked, pre-scheduled, and pre-planned mini photo shoot. So the photo shoot is only 20 minutes long, and every 30 minutes is a new like window that you could book. Like you prepay for your 20-minute shoot at 8, and then there's one at 8:30, there's one at 9, 9:30. So I do it from 8 to 3 p.m., sometimes 4 p.m. on Friday and Saturday of the con. And most years I book solid and I have to leave gaps in my schedule on purpose. I have to say no to some people
You gotta
eventually.
eat.
Yeah, I do. I have a 12 o'clock break, that's for sure, and a 30-minute break there. And then sometimes I'll leave another empty spot for a cushion because people get late. Traffic happens. Those people that get there
is
at
true.
8 or 9 a.m. is tricky because that's when traffic gets crazy.
Yeah.
And I try to use, sometimes I have an empty slot at the second half of the day, like 2 or 3 p.m., and that has saved a lot of people's butts. So that's what I do at cons. But to answer your question, oh, yeah. So I did have some empty slots at San Japan on Friday and Saturday. And when I have empty spots, I just stand around like a creeper and I'm looking around. I'm like, who looks cool? Who looks cool? Ooh, Star Wars, get over here. So I'll go up to people. I've got all my gear on me. If you have an assistant, so it's not like a random, weirdo.
Yeah.
But they can tell I'm a legit photographer, which helps. And I say, hey, my name's Daniel Grove. I'm a professional photographer. If you would like, I would love to get a free cosplay photo of you real quick, and I'll email it to you, no strings attached. And 90% of the time, they're like, yeah, that's cool. Let's do it. I've never had a photo shoot. And that's when I'm like, oh, yeah. Let's set the bar real high. Sorry, the other
Yeah.
photographers in the future. Sorry. I'm going to blow their socks off. And I do. And I love it. It makes me feel great. And they, of course, get photos they would have never had or even known could be made. A lot of people have never, don't have this concept that
Right.
cosplay photos can look like a movie poster. Got, oh man, probably 10 to 15 total strangers. This, franchises, just anything when it looks like they put a lot of effort into it and like I can make a cool edit, then I'll go up and approach them. And one lady, I emailed them the pictures about the week later after the con, and she responded. She said, "Thank you so much for these photos. Not only did it look amazing, but my cosplay fell apart like immediately after I got into the con after your
my
shoot."
God.
I'm like, was that my fault? Did I do something? But it just wasn't well made, I guess. And low budget cosplay, but she didn't look low budget. She looked great, and that was really special because and I've got a lot of responses similar to that. Other people are like, I've never had a professional photo at all of me, and I look like a superhero, and like that helps a lot of people feel better about themselves. And it's
Well,
like,
that's
really
so cool that
does.
you get to be a part of
thank you.
like building people's
Yeah.
confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like what an
Big.
like that's such an honor, to be able to help
Mhm.
people boost, like you're boosting them up with your work, and it's like,
Yes.
Yep.
that's so cool.
So do you use that also as lead generation? Because that sounds like a great lead generation
Yes.
tool. Because then if you get a photo that blows you away, you're
They're
gonna
gonna
want to do
remember
that
me,
next
yeah.
year. Yeah, that's gonna
I-
be very memorable.
I don't go into it trying to make that happen, but as a result of awesome photos, it happens a lot. So I actually have done 2 weddings of cosplayers years after our first photo shoot of them because we become online friends.
Yeah.
They have cosplay photos or anything else comes up in life because I do all kinds of photography. If anyone that's not familiar with me, I do pretty much everything. As long as their clothes are on, I will do that photo
Yeah.
shoot. Pretty good chance I do that. So I do
Yeah.
everything and I like it all too. But yeah, so one girl was one of the strangers. It was like, you remember Alamo City Comic Con back in the day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or,
The last
or whatever
few
happened
episodes,
to it.
We've talked about
Yeah.
Alamo City. That's funny.
Oh, I need to listen to that one. I don't know what happened. I miss it. I miss
No
it. It was
one
great.
does.
In PAX South.
Oh,
love that
don't even
con.
get me
We're
started.
heartbroken.
Man,
PAX
like my
South.
favorite
So heartbroken
cons
about
That
100%.
PAX South was my
PAX South.
favorite.
got stolen from me. I'm like, I make money on that con, and I have fun.
I did
So, ACCC, like 2017, I photographed my friend Ellen Goose, and she's awesome, really sweet girl and great friend now. But years down the road, after I'd photographed her 1 or 2 other times, she's like, "Hey, I see you do weddings. Would you like to do my wedding?" I was like, "Oh, yes." So she was a total stranger. I just met her on a Riverwalk one year. I was like, "Hey, can I take your photo?" She was in a JoJo adventure. JoJo's. What's
Yeah,
it
the
called?
anime.
Adventure?
I think
That
you can
one.
get away just
Extreme
calling it
Adventure?
JoJo's. I haven't
JoJo.
watched it,
It's
but
the
I know
most
what you're talking
extra-
about. Bizarre?
Yes.
Yes,
JoJo's
JoJo's Bizarre.
Bizarre.
And it is bizarre, yeah. Especially the poses that they do. So,
Yes.
so that's how that happened. And another one, Kelsey Moore did her wedding recently. She was a Black Widow, like 2019. I photographed, and
That's
you know, it's great making friends with people because I do other life events and they need me, so it's cool.
I love that's like part of, so I'm friends with you on Facebook, and that's part of the thing I love, like whenever you post from a new shoot you've done. Like I just, it's so cool to watch. Like you're so versatile. You like you said, you cover so many different
Yep.
life events, and like, that it's just so cool. I aspire to have like a fraction of the skill set that you have, just a
Same.
fraction of it,
Same.
because I'm like taking, I like look at like a raw photo that I took of a cosplayer and at GalaxyCon. I was like, oh, this is really cool, and I'm like, man, this would be really cool if I had Daniel Grove's like abilities, which I will
Start
have
making
because
filter packs,
I'm
Daniel.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
right.
taking these classes. I'm gonna
We
be
all start
doing
somewhere.
it.
Well, you need to take my Photoshop class
I
once it's done.
100%, 100%.
Yeah,
I'm
1000.
take your photos to a whole new level.
I'm gonna show
Masking
you
is
the
the
photo
bane of
when we
my
get off of
existence.
this.
What's that?
Yes.
One what?
Oh, I was saying masking is the bane of
Oh,
my
masking.
existence.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I got some good tricks for that. I have some
yeah,
automatic methods that save you a lot of time.
there's so
Yeah,
much
yeah.
stuff. But
It is.
so
Photoshop is deep.
you got to being a professional photographer. You've had
Mm-hmm.
success to the point where now you can give some free photos back to people just to make them
Yeah.
feel good. But you are going even farther in helping people progress through. I know we've hinted at it throughout this whole thing. Tell us what you're doing now with your courses,
Yeah.
trying to help people get into this and get better at their craft.
Sure. So I have taught in-person lessons for many years, and I enjoy that. Again, I love that personal interaction, and teaching. That's one of my giftings. Is just teaching anything. And whether I'm like teaching a Bible class, I love that. I love teaching people about parenting or just photography. Any passion of mine, I love to share that with someone else that's passionate about it. And so I've done in-person lessons for many years, and I'm starting to realize like I can't spare this time super often. As I'm getting more increase, I can't just be doing like 10 lessons a week. That's just too much for
Yeah.
my time. And so I'm making video courses, which can be higher quality content. It can be much more hours worth than I can offer in person. It can cost less. They can pause me and rewind me and take notes on me, and it's just a better way to learn, honestly, is video courses. So that's what I'm doing now. Is I'm creating a series. I have a whole series of videos planned. Is Siri and Siri. So my one recording next is it's called Intro to Photography. So that's going to cover all the basics you need to know. If you just get your first camera and you want to learn photography, you're total noob, like this is going to be gold, gems for you, because it's all the basics about lenses, settings, camera stuff. We're going to talk about editing and lighting, all these things that you need to know, like the foundational photography stuff. I'll have more advanced ones later, but today I actually recorded 3 hours worth. My throat is recovered, thankfully, but I recorded myself for 3 hours doing photo intro to Photoshop is one I did this morning, and of course they're not done yet, but they'll be done sometime this year. I want to give like a few courses ready to put online first before I go public. But yeah, Photoshop. After that, I'll do an intro to Lightroom, and then I'll have more advanced follow-up classes like advanced, retouching, compositing, and something else. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff coming up,
Yeah,
and
I can't wait
I
till you
love
get
it.
to the advanced stuff because I got some of
Oh
the
yes.
basic stuff, but like editing luminance in different
Yeah.
areas of the photo, not just overall, but adjusting the wall lighting in the
Yeah.
back of the subject. Like
Juan,
that
you
stuff
made
just
that
gets
word up.
complex.
You made that word
No,
up.
luminance is a real word. It's
You,
like a
y'all
thing you
are
can
probably,
adjust.
y'all could both
could adjust.
literally say any word right now, and I'd be like, oh yeah, yeah.
No, on the
The
exposure
dynamic range
triangle,
is
what you
just
do
offset.
is exactly
Right?
10
The,
bit, 16 bit. It's all the same thing.
The
Techno jargon.
the squiggle source is
Flux
really
capacitor.
where it's at. Yeah. You could literally say anything, and see that's why I'm like, sign me up for the beginner class, like, because I have my
Yes.
camera. I have a Canon Rebel. Can't remember the number that's after it. I got it at where, I don't know, one of those camera exchange places. Oh.
Oh.
I got it.
Good
It's used. I was like, I just need something just
Yeah.
to start.
Yeah.
And so that's
I
where
started with a
started.
Rebel. I started with a Rebel XSI, the second Rebel ever made. I use that. So I was able to
I
upgrade.
really like it, and
Yeah.
I think,
Rebels are great. It's so light.
yes, I think that's what I like about it as well.
Yeah, I started with the M50 Mark II. It was like
nice.
a $500 because I got it on sale on Amazon.
Yeah, that's a
it
good
was
price.
it was literally one Peter McKinnon video, and I was like, I'm in. This is
Buying it.
awesome. Yeah, and then I've always seen your work because, like Gigi said, you are very known in the community of cosplay and cons in the San Antonio area, and your quality of work, just from when I've started being online looking at your stuff to now. It was good when I first saw it, and it's just the level of quality, and it's the little things. They're little things like you're able to play with lighting more, and then you went and learned Blender. And
As
who
if Photoshop
does
wasn't
that?
enough.
Exactly. I was like,
very
I
few
can't
people.
figure out
I'm
Adobe's suite
crazy.
of projects, and you just went deep into a whole
Start
3D
making 3D
rendering
environments.
software.
And, did you
And
see where I made the sword, the props for the cosplayers
I
recently?
saw the sword. I saw the ships. I saw
Oh,
all of it. Now, are you thinking of
yes, the
incorporating
ships
that
are so
with
cool.
your stuff, with your like
Yes.
photos and things?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
why
yeah.
you're
Yeah,
just getting
so
better and better?
Blender, I started dabbling with a really awesome program called Maxon C4D, again in middle school through shady means of software acquisition.
That's how you have to
'Cause,
start.
That is
yeah,
how
that's a
everyone
start for everybody.
starts.
Yeah, I guess it is. I repented and gave that up, and
You're fully
Totally free.
licensed now.
yeah,
Fully
great.
licensed.
Clear conscience. But Blender is totally free. It's open source. It's amazing. I mean, studios are using this. Anime studios, VFX studios, video game designers are using this free program to make top quality stuff. And Netflix, there's like 3 movies on Netflix that are primarily done in Blender, and that just is awesome. So Blender's a 3D software. You can do rendering, animation, stills, all kinds of stuff. I use it for graphic design. Like I use it for weird things it's not made for. Because I made video transitions in it before to use in Premiere. So there's it's so good. Like you can use it for multiple stuff. And started just dabbling with that, making sci-fi abstract stuff as a kid, and getting back into Blender. Now I'm doing the same thing. I have a whole ArtStation account for my CGI art, and it's mostly sci-fi stuff because I'm a huge nerd. I love sci-fi. If I had the mounts, I would have my lightsabers mounted on the wall, all 4 of them mounted on the wall behind me.
Where's
But
my light-
not quite there yet. You got one?
I don't know where it went. I do have one.
Can I
One of
one
the
up
kids
you
got it.
real quick?
Oh, please.
I have one.
Yes.
I have a lightsaber that is in production, Dawn Sabers, which is actually here in Texas. They're like
Yeah.
legit. They're awesome, and they're here in Montgomery, Texas, by Dallas. I designed a saber for them, and it's in production. And I have
Oh!
it. It's so cool. I should have brought it out. It's right in my closet. Maybe I'll get it.
That
But,
is
yeah.
awesome.
So does that make me a Jedi? I made a lightsaber.
Yes.
I think
it
so.
does.
I think you're certified.
Wait,
It's
what
a cool
color?
design.
What color?
It's
Kyber
RGB,
crystal.
baby. Any
Okay.
color I want.
Oh,
But if you were a
nice.
Jedi,
I like-
if you
Okay,
were
good question.
that's a
I
good
like
question.
I like amber. I like yellow, ambery, yellowy, orangey. Yeah.
Okay.
Like that.
Yes.
All right.
And I
I-
also
Good
like
choice.
purple. But
I'm a purple lightsaber. Woo!
yeah.
But I
Hey,
also
Mara
like
Jade,
yellow.
you got the red hair. You
I
need to be
did-
Mara Jade. I
You've
see
told me, yes, you've.
Oh, I told you before.
No, and I'm not kidding. Every time I think about, I'm like, I should do this. Is gonna do it, and then I'm gonna go to
1,000.
Daniel.
You
I'm
look
gonna-
perfect. Oh yes, yeah. Get
You
that
would-
costume.
I
Yeah,
100%
Mary
would go to
Jane.
you. Like,
Yeah.
I need you to know that, like, when I cosplay Mara, I'm gonna go to you.
Ooh, I love Star Wars. My main thing, my main fandom. So Blender has always been a fun side thing for me, and then I started incorporating it into my photography. So now what I can do is I can make full CGI environments from scratch, which is basically think of it like a video game level, where I can put my digital camera anywhere in the scene, any angle, any like zoom in, zoom out type stuff. I can change the lighting to whatever I want, which I use to mimic my real world photo lighting of my person. So if I'm going to put a person in an environment, I know my lighting that I shot the photo with, obviously, because I did the lighting. So then I roughly copy the angles and the types of lighting and stuff in the digital environment, render that into just a normal still photo, pop it into Photoshop behind them, and it matches up, about 60, 70%. Then the rest of it is done with compositing tricks and Photoshop magic to match stuff and
That's so
and it's
cool.
awesome.
That's
Like
insane.
I can make stuff that is either you can't make it for you or is literally impossible. I can make that too, and it's been I call it my superpower because it really makes me stand out. Like I know
It
one other
does.
guy in Houston that can do this, a guy in Seattle that can do this, and there's photographers all around the world that can do this, but it's just not really well known
But
and not
and
popular
like
yet.
locally,
Yeah,
Locally,
locally,
you
I don't know
definitely
anyone
stand
else that
You're
uses
the only one I
Blender
know
like
that
I do.
uses Blender for photography and
Yeah.
create virtual environments for shoots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't seen
that's
anyone
so
else do
cool.
In the next 10 years, it'll get huge. Unreal Engine is amazing too, so I don't use that.
that. Yeah,
Start creeping its way into the photography, and it is already. So it's coming, but I started it first. Just kidding.
Well,
Before it was
speaking
cool.
of that and technology speeding up, what are your thoughts on AI and all of the things Adobe has put in, all the
Yeah.
features like generative fill? Have
Ooh,
you
it's a-
played with those? What is
Yes.
your take on them? Like, how do you feel
This
about
is-
it?
To start off with something funny, I had an engagement shoot. It was on the rooftop of a parking garage. A couple had a sweet motorcycle. So it was a really cool photo. And I brought my kids over because I just got Photoshop Beta, which has the AI. You can type in a prompt and it
Yeah.
adds that thing into the photo,
Yes.
blends
Yeah,
it
yeah,
in. It's
yeah.
incredible. So
Lighting
I was
is
like,
great,
oh,
everything.
let's get the kids in on this. This is going to be crazy. I was like, all right, you, Hattie, what do you want me to add to this photo? She's like, a cat. And then my son's like, what do you want me to add? He's like, a dragon in the sky. So I was doing it. And it was so hilarious. Oh man, so it's amazing what it can do, and it's getting better every 6 months or so.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a new update now for it. They just came out with the details where you'll get 250 credits to use the AI generative fill in Photoshop, and then after that it'll start slowing down. But you can pay for like faster ones. I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
really fill stuff. There's a new remove tool that I'm not sure if that's AI or not, but the new remove brush is incredible. It can just remove stuff like crazy. So
Yeah, it
it's
still
awesome.
actually uses the generative fill technology. It just basically takes out the image and then cleans up the lighting because
Yeah.
obviously there was an object there. There would be
Yeah.
some light morphing.
So it's not a text
but
prompt. It's just whatever you brushed over.
pretty
Yeah.
much. If you do generative fill and you go over an item you want to remove and you just click generate, it'll remove
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it and then clean
That's
up
right.
the area.
Yeah,
So-
and that's
Yeah.
a lot of my friends are using that to remove their light stands and their umbrellas that creep in the edge of the photo.
No
or
more
just
rotoscoping, baby.
remove
No
a
more
car.
tracing
Yeah,
items to get them out of your shots. Now you can just circle
background. That's yeah, it's magic. But concerning AI art as a whole, I don't have a super strong opinion because I haven't spent time educating myself a lot about it. But from what I've gathered, AI generators generally are pulling from. Oh, I got a baby messing with my light. Um, leave that alone. They are generating based on copywritten work from other artists without their permission, and that bothers me. So I personally don't use AI art in anything. I have used it for some very vague and abstract textures that are like a super minor part in my photos. Like I made like a hologram pattern that I put on a little screen or something. So, but it's nothing really major, and I'm not sure if I'll continue doing that or not. But I do want to use AI generators for an inspiration starting piece. I want to make a few videos like, hey, let's tell it to make me a spaceship. It's out. We're going to make in Blender, and I'll show you how to make that in Blender, like that kind of stuff. And it's an
Yeah.
inspiration, and it's an awesome
is.
source for just mashing up human ideas together. It's what it does. It's
Yeah.
trying to be a
It's exactly
human
what it
and
does.
put creative concepts in one continuous scene, and that's really cool to me. So hopefully, it just doesn't take over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
don't think
'cause-
it'll go there.
Yeah, it's
No.
like finding like the
Scan it.
balance of like that it's like cool where it's like, oh, like let me take a regular picture of myself and then put it in this like AI generator and
Oh, the
turn
headshot
me-
thing.
Yeah, and then like turn me into like a galaxy princess or something, and then it's
I love
like
it.
it's cool, but then your
I wanna be a
eyes
galaxy
always
princess.
look weird.
Well, and I want to see
Yeah.
you, the Galaxy Princess.
Ooh,
I would
Lana's
nail
a
it.
galaxy
I would nail it.
princess.
I have galaxy princess energy. so
Sparkly
I feel
beard.
Like it would be,
I
it
don't
would
know
be
why
great. It'd
galaxy
be
princess
majestic.
was the first thing that came to my head, but
We're talking about Star Wars.
yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
We were talking about Star Wars.
Leia.
But no, yeah, they have those tools now where you can just
Yeah.
kind of put your head on anything and then it blends
Mm-hmm.
and does all the stuff that would take forever in Photoshop and now just kind of does it.
And it takes my job kind of too.
No. Well, because like Gigi says, your eyes just look dead.
Yeah,
After
it's weird.
it just stamps your face, and if the person or the render doesn't have your exact same head shape, it like
Oh.
stretches your face
Have you
to
seen?
fit
Do you
it.
see how long this face is? Do you think this face ever looks good
Face
in
is fine.
any like face of anybody else? It always.
Like you,
I always
No,
like it
your
like
face is
smushes
gorgeous.
my face down, and I'm like, why?
no, I don't think your job's at risk at all. Like you
Not
said,
at
it's a
all.
great inspiration.
Yeah.
It's a great way to create mood boards. If you're going for a feel for a shoot, it gives you that vibe and it gives you lighting ideas. A pro like you, I think, is going to take the tool and utilize it the same way you
Yeah,
utilize
certain
all the
ways.
others, Adobe and Blender. But now that you got your courses out, you what are you doing next? Like, is the courses the next thing? Is there anything you want to promote? Like, where does Daniel Grove Photography go from here?
I mean, the courses are a next big step for my career because I'll be able to accomplish one of my dreams, which is helping and teaching in a much larger scale than I could possibly do in person. And like I said earlier, it's actually better quality content. Like getting a course with 7 hours of stuff in it, I couldn't teach someone 7 hours. I'd have to charge them like $3,000 for that. Just so much
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
And you can only do one at a time.
Yeah, one person at a time. Run myself to the ground. Now I can reach. I'm on some large Facebook groups that allow promotion of this type.
Oh,
Did it drop? Oh, hold on.
Are we
no.
still live?
I think we are, but
We
Daniel
are
is
still
frozen.
alive, struggling. We're
Yeah.
struggling.
Yeah. I hope no. I hope one of his
Oh,
kids didn't pull the
Art
cord.
and Brittany are fighting.
Oh, they're in the chat. I'm dead. Show some of his work on screen. I have not set up the office, bro, so I can't show any of his work yet because nothing is set up here. I'm actually hiding all the trash from moving in.
Hey, Brittany.
Hey, Britt. Thanks for popping in. Thank you for everybody who popped in. But yeah, Daniel is currently down for us. I think he's down in general. May have lost signal. We're still live though, so
Oh, he shot Brittany whenever she was hot girl. Oh, he's gone now.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think possibly one of his kids stepped on the Wi-Fi. Just one of the pulled a cord. Something happened. My man is out. Man down, but we're still live. So that we'll just wait for him to come back in. In the meantime, we'll chat with my brother and Brittany. Yes, but Brittany is not here because she's ill. She's in the chat though. So
Yes.
yeah, but
It's one of those
we've
fun
lost our
things
guest.
that happen with, having kids where they
Yeah.
get sick and they bring it back home to you and then you're like, why is this happening?
I'm back.
Exactly.
Sorry, my
Kids-
internet. It
kids
was
make
me.
Everything together.
My,
No worries.
Yeah,
Okay.
my internet
We
just went
thought-
out. Sorry.
No, we thought a child stepped across a cord and unplugged you.
Unplugged the
So-
whole house. No, sorry about that. You got. I don't know what you heard on your end, but
Yes, you're
Yes,
in
we heard-
What did I say?
Facebook groups and it has the ability to go international. Yeah.
oh yeah, I lost a lot. Sorry about that. Let's see. Yeah, so reaching a bigger audience, helping more people is a dream of mine. Making money from that will be cool too. But I'm looking forward to that. I don't remember what I said after that point. I guess mostly just that was the courses are big for me right now. And I've been, so I have a friend here locally. His name is Nazario Guerra, and he's a great photographer. We do weddings together. I've shot for him. He shot for me. And I got him kind of into video. He was curious about learning video because I've been doing videography for about 5 years now, in addition to my photo work. And so I got him into videos, and now he's doing highlights all on his own. Wedding videos, quince videos. And that's cool because now he's like, thanks. Like, Daniel got me into this. I can't get out. I love it. I'm making new money that I never made before. And that's really cool. I've got a few other friends that I'm helping them out. They help me too. I learn stuff all the time from people, even new photographers. And I see new photographers post stuff that are brand new to it. And I look at the photos and I'm like, dang, you're good. Like your stuff is better than mine in a lot of aspects.
Hey,
And
that's how we all feel whenever we see.
Whenever we see your work, Daniel, know that.
No, that was
is
actually
fun.
how I felt whenever you popped in the first time and I saw your amazing setup. And I was like, of course he would look super
It always
professional.
happens.
I almost wanted to knock down my key light like this shit out of here. Stop playing like you're good.
I've been on a few video podcasts before, and every time I come on, they're like, "What webcam are you using?" I was like, "Well, first of all, it ain't a
It's not.
webcam.
It ain't no way.
I got like 3 lights going on, so
I
it's
need to
my
figure
job. I'm just
out.
doing my job.
Yes.
That's
Now,
what I do.
Every podcast, we ask a hard-hitting question that we all judge you over.
Oh,
And this
Cool,
can get
cool,
you
cool.
canceled on Twitter. It's such a hard-hitting,
It
controversial
has,
question.
It has
gosh.
happened in the past and it might happen. Continue to
So,
happen.
Gigi, please
Okay.
hit him with the last question.
If you were a Girl Scout cookie, which cookie would you be?
Dang, I'm not familiar enough with all the flavors that they have. Is there a peanut butter one? Peanut butter chocolate?
Yes.
Uh,
Is that the
What
one
is
you'd
it?
be? Tag along?
Tag along. I don't
Oh,
know
that's
them
what it's
either,
called?
Daniel.
Yeah, it's like a cookie with chocolate in it. I mean, with peanut butter in it, and then it has it's dipped in chocolate.
Yes, please. With a glass of milk. Boom. I only have
That-
4 girls. They've never been in Girl Scouts though, so I'm a little out of date.
Ah.
My cookie selection.
Well, there we
Nice.
go.
Sounds good to me.
So, tag along. Good answer. Good choice. Before we go, where can the people find you? Where can they see your work? And where are you going to be distributing your courses?
Yeah, so you can find me all over the web. I have a lot of stuff going on. Generally, just Google Daniel Grove Photo or Daniel Grove Photography. You'll find my various social medias. Primarily, I'm active on Facebook, a little bit on Instagram, TikTok.
Not again.
No. Oh my god,
We
my
were so
ears,
close.
my ears itchy.
Daniel, come back.
I do need to
This
figure out how
is
to set up my like
yeah, your
Canon.
camera, your
Yeah.
Rebel. Oh yeah, I need to do the same thing. I need a total
I need to
reset up.
figure out what lighting he's using. I'm like, I'm gonna need a list of all.
Yeah, we're just gonna after this show, guys. We're gonna sign off, go behind the scenes with Daniel, and have an off air convo of his lighting setup because I'm in awe of it. It's just so clean.
It
The skin
right.
tone looks all natural.
I
I
know.
look pale.
And then the
I look like
background
Michael
behind
Jackson.
him, the background behind him
Yes.
looks.
It's good accents because he has like good, nice blue lighting, so you
And
can
then
tell,
the
and the
dark
depth of field.
wall, the dark
Mhm.
wall. I
I turned my light off because he had his off, so I was like, "That's what it is. I need to turn my light off." So, so I did that. I had the light on initially, and this light source didn't look so good. It looks better with the light off, and then I adjusted the brightness, and yeah, he made me insecure about my lighting setup.
I was just like, oh man. And it's all
Yeah,
warm lighting.
yeah. Mine's like screen lighting, and my one
Yeah.
key light that I tried. It was. I need more time. I'll get it though. I'll get it. He's
Wait, let me
coming
put my
back now.
rainbow lighting back on. Let me put my rainbow
Ugh,
lighting.
I only have fiber freaking internet. I don't know what's going on. Sorry.
Yeah, same here. I had the first week I moved in, I got fiber, and it was just acting up. We were just
What's go-
talking about your lighting, but you were saying you're on
2023.
social media. Google Daniel
Yes.
Grove Photography. Where do we find
Try
it?
this one more time. So I'm pretty much on almost all social media. That's Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Those are my names. And then on Facebook, it's the full Daniel Grove. So just Google Daniel Grove photo and you'll find me. And yeah, I've got all kinds of stuff everywhere.
Coming on the show. Thank you. We'll
See you guys next time.